want to tell it as close as it could be because he has his wife and his family, and they're all. I want them to be pleased. I don't want them to say, "Oh, this is movie people come in here and make a shambles out of, make us who we aren't." And so you do the best you can there with the amount of information you can gather, and. But it was exciting doing that, and the picture, depicting the conflict within yourself of having to come back and then go back on tours and stuff. When you got this great family back home, that's got to be tough right there. It's tough to make that decision, but he felt very strongly about that he was needed there to support his troops, and so that's the conflict. There's a lot of different conflicts in this picture.
I am and always have been very pro-military. I believe in the job of our armed forces and know firsthand the sometimes limitless sacrifices our enlisted men and women make every day, sometimes every second, and the pain they and their families feel because of what they believe is a simple calling: to protect the innocent, to stand for the United States, and to seek out the bad guys and gals and stop them. All too often, stopping equates to killing. And when it comes to those who butcher women and children, those who seek to inflict pain and suffering on others merely because they do not bow down to their way of thinking, those who have no other aim in life but to overcome and subjugate people for their own twisted and evil joy, I have no issue with rooting them out and, if need be, to exterminate them like the sewer-dwelling vermin that they are. However, I also know the dark side of those in the military. There are indeed those who seek to become killers for no other reason than to feed some brutal and despicable instinct to see blood shed. There are those who at this moment carry a weapon and take great glee in blowing the heads off an enemy and think nothing of it. They are the true tiny majority of those who serve this nation, and they deserve our scorn and to themselves be rooted out and squelched with impunity. Chris Kyle wasn't one of those people. I've read the book this movie, American Sniper, is based on, talked to many people who have followed the same training as Kyle, some who knew him casually, all who know what life is like as a member of the military serving in what is the most treacherous battlefield America has ever been part of, the Middle East. Hey, let's not kid ourselves. Kyle wasn't a choir boy. There are plenty of stories about him being a pain in the backside, not being a very nice guy to hang around, and the fact his marriage was troubled and sprinkled with plenty of arguments. But this is all trimming around the core story. That of a man who did indeed feel a true desire to serve his country, who was racked by the thought of not being able to save more of his comrades, and who in the end died at the hands of someone he was trying to help.
Kyle volunteered to help vets suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder. Police believe he was trying to counsel 25-year-old Eddie Ray Roth this weekend at a gun range southwest of Dallas.
The suspect's mother, she may have reached out to Mr. Kyle to try and help her son. And we kind of have an idea that maybe that's why they were at the range, for some type of therapy.
But detectives say shooting practice turned deadly Saturday when the young former Marine snapped, turning his gun on the sniper he reportedly idolized, allegedly shooting him and his friend, 35-year-old Chad Littlefield, at point-blank range.
I saw the movie American Sniper this weekend. Aside from being a point-perfect example of exceptional movie-making by Clint Eastwood, it is perhaps the most visceral and in-the-moment picture of war since the opening scenes of Saving Private Ryan. A gripping story that will make anyone and everyone gasp at certain moments. And while there are a few Hollywood liberties taken, you will understand what it's like to be a whisper away from watching a body take a bullet in the brain and understanding the next one may have your name on it. The film came to an end with some simple closing comments and true scenes. The sound stops and the credits roll. There was absolute dead silence. I have never in my life exited a theater where almost no one spoke a single word. Every person was affected by what they witnessed, and every person was left to wrestle with what the reality was and what the life of one man needed to say about how we live and sometimes about how we die, mostly about how these people serve their country. Go see American Sniper and begin to understand. And that is telling it like it is. Rock on, true believers. Thanks so much for joining us. To the folks in the Northeast, stay safe. We will continue to follow the story the rest of the evening and tomorrow. Join us again Tuesday, right back here on the show that questions everything. This is MidPoint.